I'm so excited to welcome this incredible duo to the podcast. New England Home Magazine's publisher, Kathy Bush-Dutton, and editor-in-chief, Jenna Talbott, for an exciting and insightful conversation about what it means to be such a big part of New England's design community over the last 2 decades. All right, well, welcome to the Workroom. Kathy and Jenna, thank you for coming down. We're a little bit out of the city, but not that far out of the city, just a little trip down Route 20. We were working on season 2, and we were thinking about who to have on. And Manager had the great idea to have you guys on because you see our world, well, literally from the finished work side, right? You have the challenge of, it feels like with all the designers I work with, you can see when I work with so many talented people, but you can see when it comes out great. But you guys have that extra importance and challenge of selecting which ones get published, right? Which ones get, and I was talking with someone at the 5 Under 40, and she said to me, Manny, I'm so excited New England Home picked it up for some piece, for something. And it's almost like a designer's like a
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, yeah, that's
what
right.
I like to say.
That's right.
An endorsement.
An endorsement.
It's validation.
It feels like a validation. Yeah. Team is really important to me, right? So I wanted to talk to you both a little bit about the magazine, the publication, and the history of it. I'll start with you, Kathy. How did you get into this business? How did you?
Me personally?
You personally.
So I've only worked in media my entire life.
You're in,
Yeah. I went to small school, high school, and there was a publishing company had just moved in across the street. I played sports, and you had to share the field hockey field with the football team and the basketball court, and obviously the girls always played after the guys.
Yeah.
And they called in to the high school asking for someone to work part-time. This is before there was email and all that, because I'm old. And I used to be like a girl Friday. Am I dating myself? And I'd walk across the street after school.
I've never heard
every
this
day.
story.
Minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, and they were paying me $5 an hour.
Okay,
So I'd
legit.
go across the street. I'd work like about 2 hours, get paid, and then I'd go back for practice. And my parents would pick me up after school. I was a senior in high school, and I worked there my entire career until I left and came to New England Home.
Wow.
So yeah, I ended up leaving there, running a division, and I was traveling all over the world, Asia, Europe. It was high-tech media, electronics market,
Wow.
optoelectronics, lasers, and all that stuff.
Who knew?
Yeah.
But how did you end up at New England Home?
Well, eventually the travel got to be a lot when I had a son, and I decided to make a change, tried to reduce my role at the company so I didn't need to travel as much. It was during the recession, and they didn't want to do that. So eventually I just resigned. I took about 6 months off, consulted with them because I'd been there so long. And Adam Japko, who's the managing partner of New England Home, had been the president of that division that I worked at. And he called me up and he said, hey, do you want to work in local media? I said, what does that mean? He said, you never have to be executive platinum on American Airlines again. I'm like, I'm coming in. He said, get to drive to Greenwich once in a while. I could do that.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And yeah, he brought me on board, not to be the publisher. I said I just wanted to be in sales. I took a territory because someone was out, a woman had a baby. Was having twins. And they had me come and fill in for her. I said, oh, this is perfect. He goes, then we'll find a spot for you. And that didn't last long. I filled in for her for about 6 weeks, and he called me up. He's like, hey, you're in charge now. And here I was.
Here you are.
Yeah.
I'm picturing you with a reporter's notebook and a field hockey stick.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me, I knew how to run the mail machines. I could be the receptionist. I'd walk around and deliver interoffice memorandums, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
all that
remember those.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I filled it, and then in the summer times I worked full time, and I fill in all different departments. So I really learned media, pre-internet. So yeah.
Oh, that's it. And Jenna, I want to say, I remember when you started with me. Are we closing in on 8 years?
2020.
Okay.
Just think of the pandemic and the lockdown. That's when I started.
Yeah.
Right? Just let's start somewhere easy.
Welcome. Go work at home.
Yeah.
My whole team was imaginary. Yeah, it was a very strange way to start.
How did you end up in this world? How did you end up with the publication? Where'd you come from?
Sure. Well, I also have been in media my whole career.
Huh.
I started, I've always been an editorial in the design department. My first job out of college, I have a fine art degree, was a graphic design position at a weekly newspaper in Eugene, Oregon. It was back when you would find alternative news weeklies all over the country. Now I think there might be two. The Eugene Weekly still in operation, and 7 Days up in Vermont, which is where I grew up.
Oh, wow.
And then when I moved to Boston in 2001, I worked for the Boston Phoenix. From there, I just took other jobs as editorial designers and art directors until it was actually the Boston Globe was starting a magazine called Design New England to compete with New England Home, the story goes. And we came to the market 2006, so a year after New England Home did. So I worked alongside the New England Home brand for the next 12 years. That magazine closed. And fortuitously, Kathy and I connected. I'm not even sure how, but I feel like we met before the job opportunity came up.
I remember we met at Landry and Akari, and I don't remember, they were having some kind of event, and Robert was there, and he said, "You should meet Jenna," and I was like, "Oh, hi."
Yes. So our creative director now, I had worked with in the past. So it was all like a bit of networking in this small city of Boston, and gosh, that's how it happened. I think Kathy knew me, I knew her, I knew the brand obviously, and when they were looking for a new editor, we met. And
and that's
5 years later.
And here we are. And here we are, talking to America. You know? Yes. I have to say, when the New England Home events come up throughout the year, I have an excitement, but I'm an anxious person. I run a little bit anxious. I hide it. But I love people. I love talking. But going to those events is always a little bit of a
I feel the same way.
You feel the same way.
I like people and I like talking, but I get nervous too.
I get nervous. One of my, maybe it's just nervousness, but I forget people's names. So I love at your events that we have the name tags. It's like, and I know it's obvious when you're looking at people's name tags, but I have to say, and at the event we were at Elisa Tharp.
Oh yeah, Lisa Tharp. Yeah, when she opened up her
in Boston,
redid her studio.
That was when Kevin and I were caught eating about 16 chicken satay things in the back. Yeah. The event was just quieting down, and Kevin and I were starving. So Kevin Craddock, and we were in the back, and we were like, just like one biting these chicken.
Nobody else was around.
No one was around.
Somebody had to eat it.
I mean, someone had to eat it. It was
we were building like a house out of the sticks.
Out of the sticks.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And better the chicken satay than like some sort of like, who knows, some sort of sweet treat. But you guys came over, and I remember thinking to myself, these two are like, forgive my analogy, but you're like a tag team wrestling duo,
That's what we do in the office all the time.
All the time. I joke with the ladies in my office, the project managers. We were making mugs for the office again, and I was like, we should have our wrestling names on there. So I call one of the ladies in there Zoe. I call her Zoe the Diamond, because all the wrestling names. But you guys are like a wrestling tag team too, because I got to tell you, when I go to those events and I'm a little bit nervous, I see you, Kathy, and I'm like, you have a way of making everybody feel comfortable and at home. There's a warmth to you that it sets the tone for the event. And Jenna, same with you as well. I see you walking around and talking with everybody, and to me often and to everybody. And that's why I love your events. And as someone who runs a little bit anxious, like I said, so I wanted to ask you, you guys have a lot of events throughout the year. How do you manage all this? How do you start? Like when 5 Under 40 finishes, it almost feels like you're starting on it again. It's like when you the people with the Boston Marathon, right? The guy that runs it is always like, well, the day after the marathon, I take a day off and then I start playing the next marathon. How do you guys? What's your process like? How do you manage all these events? And we're not even talking about the beautiful publication that comes out every.
It's all part of the formula.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, the day after 5 under 40, we're getting the website set up to start accepting nominations for the 2026 5 under 40. We're having a debrief on what went right.
well.
We do have an event planner that we use specifically for 5 under 40 and Hall of Fame, like our two big. And then, of course, we have a conference manager for the Luxury Home Design Summit.
Yes.
So that's going on all the time. Like right now, we're taking submissions for talk proposals at the summit. We have an advisory board that will meet after Hall of Fame to start talking about that agenda. But it's just part of what we do. It's just in the mix. You know, we have, well, right now we're on to weekly meetings for the Hall of Fame, but we do every other week. We meet with the event team and, well, the event planner and the marketing person and myself, and we start.
Yeah.
And then submissions, Jenna's involved with, you know, for Hall of Fame, for 5 under 40, getting judges, presenters.
Yeah.
I think it's very important, and I think what New England Home owes a lot of its success to is we're more than a magazine.
Yes, you are.
We're a brand that has the privilege of being a key part of this community, the design community in New England, and a big part of that is these events that we're able to do, and the fact that I think Kathy and I. There's a lot of them, but we do like it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
we like talking to people,
right?
And it not only is it do we get something out of it? I think when we're at these events, but it also serves our professional goals for the business too. Like I learned so much. Like I remember finding you by the chicken satays with Kevin Craddock, and this was the first time we ever really got a chance to talk. Like,
really
oh my God, everyone talks about Manny. He's so fun to talk to. So that's how we do what we do.
Yeah,
so being out.
And I get energized by being with people. Like that's for me, because people say, how do you keep up that schedule? I'm like, oh, I love it. Like that's what fuels me.
Yeah. No, for me, I have this thing, you know, I always tell the team in the office, you know, the afternoon's coming around, an event is that day. And I'll say to myself, oh man, I really don't want to drive to, you know, SOWAS, you know, power station. I don't want to, you know, geez.
Another New England Home event.
Yeah, here we go. No, but every time I go, I meet somebody new. I meet someone interesting. I meet a fan naturally. I'm famous now, so this happens, you know. That's why I have this beard. America, you know, the metrics were saying they want me in a beard.
Yeah. Okay. Data.
So that was part of the data that came out of the first podcast.
Okay.
It was actually
listen to that.
It was actually I grew it in Greece, and my aunt in Greece was like, "You look great in a beard. You should keep it." And as one of my buddies said, he's like, "When something looks this good, how could you not keep it?"
Okay, there you go.
Know, there you go. That was very random, but no, the events for me are mandatory, but you're right though. It's more than a magazine and a publication. It's to be there is important, very important. And my business is we have to be quietly behind the scenes. You know, we advertise in your publication because it's important to be out there to remind people that hey, we're here and we're here for you. And I also, you guys have been so great to me. I think there's been a handful of times where a designer from Chicago, a designer from so-and-so reaches out to you and says, hey, who can we talk to as a workroom? And there's myself and all the other great workrooms in the area. You know, they can't go wrong, but there's a lot less workrooms now. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for running those events and doing it so well, because you take someone like me, and I know there's a lot of people who are a lot more closed in, but I think today, in today's environment, in our design world and outside of it, having those events and making people feel comfortable and bring them together is very, very important. Very important, because I think I see it in my, and we'll talk about this too, but I see it with my kids' generation. My boys are 16, 14, and my daughter's 7. There seems to be a closed social connection, you know?
Yes, it's important to be out in the world. And I have a 12-year-old daughter, and that's why I see her very comfortable interacting with her friends on chat, rather than like, how about we have a friend over? How about we get you out and do this thing?
Yes.
I think it's the same thing. Sometimes, as you're describing, like, oh, got to drive to SOA, or oh, got to get psyched up to do this. There's a little bit of a hump for some of us to get over, but it's always worth it to get out and talk to people. I think a regional publication that is crucial, and that's, I think, that's we owe a lot of our success to that formula too.
Yeah.
And that the fact that we get out there.
And we
Yeah.
see, I mean, as a result of bringing the people together, we've seen work come around.
Oh, yeah.
Like you meet a designer.
Oh.
I've seen architects connect with builders, and 2 years later they're working on a project. Or so that's what it's all about. It's not just, oh, you run an ad in the magazine.
Right.
No, we're going to help make those connections.
Yeah.
And it's important, but you got to physically come and be there in order for us to introduce you to some of those people. And the whole team encourages. We tell people at those events, if you don't know someone, you want to meet somebody, come tell us, and we'll bring you around and drag you by your ear if you're shy. Come on, we're going to introduce you.
Well, I try and let it happen organically. I mean, many of the clients I have here in this business now were word of mouth, one to the other, to the other, to the other, and many from you guys. But I just I go with the flow. If somebody wants to work with us, great. Workrooms are tricky because they're like your favorite hairdresser, or you love them because they know you, and we take care of them, and we try our best to make the designers look great every project. But you're only as good as your last project, and you got to get it right.
I've broken up with a lot of hairdressers.
Yeah.
That last haircut. Yeah.
I don't have, now I just go to a simple barber. I don't have many
Sometimes
choices
I could do that.
anymore.
Yes.
As my wife said to me over the summer, she's like, have you thought about buzzing your head? And I was like, oh. I was like, okay. I keep it short. I accept my baldness.
I think you're doing well.
Thank you. Yes, I have great chest hair, which is why I went one extra button today.
This is the topless part of the podcast.
We can X that out, right? My first job coming out of college, thanks to my father-in-law, right? I had this wonderful father-in-law. He passed away, but he took such good care of me. He got me a job at a Greek newspaper, and I was the advertising sales guy.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. And I got to feel the pressure of, Manny, you got to sell some ads so we can keep this paper running. And he took it was a national newspaper. It was very regional, though. It was very regional, and he took this national paper, put it back into production because the community needed it and wanted it. So I felt the pressure of selling those ads. Your publication, when it comes out, is unbelievable. I mean, there is a tremendous group of advertisers. Tell me a little bit about that process. Tell me a little bit about when you see people like me who advertise in there, how do you keep them locked in? We've had to take breaks at times, when the cash flow is a little tighter. We sometimes slow it down a bit. We had a stretch of like 4 or 5 years where we were in every publication, but I think recently we took a little bit of a break, and now we're hitting it up again. But it's always valuable to us, always. It just sometimes we have to, just
You're running a business.
Running a business, yeah. On your end, on the business side, what's that like? Is the pressure, is it part of the weekly meetings? Is it part of the?
Yeah, I have, so every Monday I have, because I run the sales side of it, I have a Monday morning sales meeting. I get up early. I had one this morning. I do an agenda. Everybody sees what went on for last week. We talk about what's going on, this week. How everyone's doing versus goals, because the number of ad pages we sell reflects on how much editorial we can run, right? So there's a fine line there. And then I have to keep her up to that September, October, our 20th anniversary. I kept calling Jenna, we're going to need more edit. We need more edit.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're smart, and they knew we were going to need a lot more.
We have a bunch of stories stuffed up our sleeves.
Yeah, exactly. So they were able to do it. But it's relationships. Just like, you might have some clients who they don't have as much work at the moment, but you keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
You keep serving them in other ways that you're not getting. There's intrinsic value. You might not be getting dollars from them, but it pays off in the long term. And fortunately, we have a team of salespeople that are very professional and have great relationships. Yeah. One of them has been there as long as I have been, which is just 15 years this month. Wow. And then another one has been there longer than I have. And the other two, they might be newer, but they're just very well known in their market. Like, they've gotten out there, they're meeting their clients. And again, they're servicing them regardless of if they're currently spending dollars with us or not. And then when the time turns, people remember that.
Yeah.
So good people, right? People like to do business with people they like.
Yeah. No, I mean, Kim, my sales rep is great. She's great. I love seeing her at the events. She's wonderful. Yeah. No, I did get some flack though for one of the ads we did was me standing in front of this fabric wall, and I had my my arms crossed, and it was kind of a strange pose, and a lot of my buddies got a hold of that one. And
they teased you.
Yeah. I mean, it's enough that I'm the drape guy, you know. They're all, lawyers and finance guys and this and that, and have these like, super powered jobs. I'm just, I'm Dr. Drapes, that's what I.
It's hard to put yourself out there as the face of a company.
Yeah.
That's why I try not to get my picture taken very often for my editor's page. Well, I just to follow up on what Kathy had to say about, I mean, obviously the ad sales are a huge indicator of the health of the business. And I've said this to her, and I've said it to my team. I've never experienced in my career over 20 plus years in editorial of having to plan for more. Typically in editorial, you have to let go of your precious stories and watch them get cut as that print deadline nears. And it's just remarkable to plan year over year to be able to tell stories with ample space. It's really incredible. So. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, no. One of the things I wanted to ask you about with speaking of editorial, right, is the Adam presented at the last Luxury Home Design Summit. He presented a piece on AI, right? And Adam's, correct me if I'm wrong, Kathy and Jenna, but his approach was, hey, at first I was really scared of this, and then I learned how to work with it and try and understand it and get to know it, right? It feels like AI is a threat to all kinds of industries in different ways, right? Right? What do you see as a challenge in your business coming up? Is AI a challenge or a threat, or can you embrace it? And it's tricky, right? It's tricky. I don't know. In my world, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I think it can be a tool that can really enhance your efficiency for process, data mining. How is Manny's facial hair doing? And the AI can give you a report of everybody's opinion on it. I think editorially, I mean, we're traditional media. We're a print magazine. We're traditional media. I want to make sure that, and I know Kathy agrees, that our stories are rooted in the built world. Yeah. There, as AI rendering and even just like Photoshop and AI like staging that gets more and more sophisticated, it gets harder and harder to tell when you look at an image if it's actually something that exists.
Oh, interesting.
We encounter this occasionally where renderings are submitted. And I've been looking at this kind of media long enough that I feel like I have a good sense for what's real and what's not. There are certain tells. Wow. Same way with imagery, same way with copy too and text. But if we're in a situation where we have to show something that doesn't exist, I think it should be labeled as such. I think that should be fully transparent. But you could send me a photo of a home that's been staged digitally. And I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't catch it. I think I would. But that capability exists. Like, did you actually put that chair there? I mean, are those window treatments actually installed?
Yeah. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
I mean, there's staging that happens in real life, like when a home needs to be photographed, and there's a certain layer of accessories and decor that hasn't been installed yet, and that's installed for the photo shoot. But if it's actually been painted in with pixels, that's a problem.
That's interesting. I can't even imagine.
I mean, I'm sure there's ads that some of that creative, like when we're looking at. I think that's a different situation for a brand's, marketing decisions. But
wow, Jenna, that's very interesting.
So then I think that for me, I mean, we're in the storytelling business. We're looking at remaining true to authentic storytelling practices. Like, and I work with a fantastic editor who works very closely with all our writers, and we have a lot of professional writers who we assign stories to. They all have a voice. We edit that to be of a bigger feeling, like a New England home voice, but there's still like that individual writer's particular voice that we maintain too. Like, I think if you have AI generate something for you, that's also being voicey, but in a way that's much more bland.
And they actually speak to the people on the project.
Right.
Well,
right.
yes,
That's huge.
Right.
AI is not talking to
No.
each.
No,
right.
Right. Yes,
to Erin Gates or Rachel Ryder or Katie Roosevelt about what went through this process.
Right.
Yeah. No,
ChatGPT can't do that interview for you. Yeah.
And that's one thing where I feel like it's not a threat to me, because I think that's my strength, is when I'm meeting with a designer, with designer A at someone's home with their client, that's what I'm selling there. I'm selling my experience, but also who I am. And we're going to figure out this window. We're going to figure out how to really darken the room, and we're going to have some laughs doing it. And we're going to get it done when they need it done by. And we're going to do it really well, and with a smile and a thank you. But I think it's the same thing in your business. When years of work go into the architecture, design, build, beautification of a project, there needs to be that personal connection. So I feel like I really appreciated Adam's presentation, because it made me really think about, AI always scared me, but I feel like there can be
We have
scary.
to learn how to live with it. I think it's inevitability.
Yeah.
So.
And there's definitely benefits. I mean, I don't know if you saw one of the bad talks recently. Builders were showing how they're using it to help, inventory and sort. So there's a lot of benefits. It's going to help them, maximize their efficiencies on their business, but it's still not going to replace doing the people part of it.
No.
It's just not.
No, it's not going to be at the 540 cracking jokes and stuffing cookies in my pockets like I was doing. Yeah.
No.
Well,
Those are good cookies.
Those are good cookies. Those are good cookies. I'm not a big white chocolate person, but there was little bits of white chocolate in one of them. I can't. Oh, the best part was when I took the cannoli home in the box, and I didn't know. So I left it on the counter. The next day, I was like, because cannoli's got to be refrigerated, right? So I almost ate it anyway. But
your kids don't jump on you when you get home, like, what did you bring me?
Usually I always bring them, some treats, and I kind of line it up for them, and they can take them the next day. So I just left some of the oatmeal cookies. And there was the other cookies that had the hard, like, candy top to them.
That was the Woodmeister.
Woodmeister,
yeah.
Woodmeister, yeah.
My daughter loves those.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Those are good. Unless there was some more business stuff. I mean, your world is...
Enough treats.
Your world, no, I love, so that was going to be part of what I was going to ask you. So everybody knows you as, the tag team, at these events. I'm so impressed with it, with everything you guys do, but tell us a little bit about you personally. For example, I always like to ask people, what do you do for you? What's your favorite thing to do? My wife's family has a place on the island of Crete in Greece, right? So my true vacation, my true unplug moment, my favorite thing to do is to go there, and it's a beautiful, simple 2.5 bedroom place, and I can walk down the street and I can have a coffee. I love saying hi to the locals, You go down to the farmer's market and, you buy some salt or some honey or some, something. It's fun. I dream about somehow maybe retiring there, but my favorite thing to do is to go in the water and just float like just a whale in the water. I just, just lie back and float, and and my kids make fun of me for it. Because at one point I heard them like, "Where's Dad?" And they're like, "Oh, there he is over there, just floating again."
The dead man's float.
Yeah, dead man's float. He loves that.
Bring a snorkel. See if
Yeah, you're face up. Right?
I'm always face up.
Good.
I'm always face up. Yeah, no. But I love that. What's your thing? What's your favorite thing to do? What do you do for you? What do you do to get through these difficult, challenging events and days? And
well, I have to say, I was floating in the water yesterday.
Oh.
And because I live in Quincy, and I'm very close to the beach, and one of my favorite things to do is take my inflatable paddleboard. I can walk it down to the beach
Ooh.
and just get right in the water. If I lived one house further away from the beach, I couldn't do it. I'm just far enough for me to walk it down myself. And it was gorgeous yesterday afternoon. And the tide was high and the water was clear. And after I beached my board, after coming back from a paddle, I just laid back on the water and floated like that.
Ah.
And what's funny is it's a city beach, so there's people walking by, there's cars by. I was like, I hope nobody thinks I like just expired
Yeah,
in the
right.
water. But it was
How
really
cold was the
it was
ocean?
perfect.
Oh,
Perfect,
good.
yeah.
It was so refreshing. But this was my perfect day. This is to answer your question.
Okay.
I start my day at home. I garden, sometimes in my pajamas.
Okay.
And
That's legit.
I did that. Well, I went to the garden store, so I was fully dressed. I went to the garden store, bought a few plants, put in some fall perennials, and I was just covered in mud, picked up my paddleboard, went down to the water, dunked, paddled around. I saw a sea turtle. in Queens Bay.
Ooh.
Really?
Huge. It startled me so much.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
yelled,
Yeah.
and it swam under my board, and I went back to try and find it, and I couldn't find it. Anyway, that was amazing.
He's got to start heading south.
Oh yes, they
Yes,
get
yes,
cold
yes.
stuff.
Yes.
They stick around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was fantastic. That is my ideal. And I was thinking about it when I was out in the water because again, it's like a city beach, but the bay off Wallaston Beach is nice and wide and calm. And I'm surrounded by, civilization and boats and houses and highway, but I'm out there all by myself. And so I get that wonderful feeling of like being all this space around me, there's teeming life underneath me, probably more than I want to think about, but I can't get a call. I can't look at my phone. I have it with me for safety, but it's just a wonderful way to check out.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Now, phone timeouts are really important,
Are
right?
very
Ooh, man.
important. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been
Yes.
doing more of that on
You have.
Sundays.
Yes,
I
that's
have a
right.
charging station in my
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
The phone is in the drawer,
Uh-huh.
and I try not even to look at it on Sundays.
Oh, that's nice.
Because
That's
I
nice,
just,
Kathy.
I mean, my son's,
Yeah.
if something happened, he's old enough. He's married, lives in Boston. He's got a wife he can talk to now.
I know, come on.
But
yes.
that's new. That's very
new,
new.
I remember.
But I'm doing better and better at that. Like my friends know. I try Sundays. I try to just digital detox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, I might watch
Yeah.
the Patriots. I'm
Yeah.
watching whatever, but try to
Put
just
that
step
small
away from
screen
it.
down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Social
I know.
media,
Yep.
everything. I just try to lay low. But
Kathy, what do you do for you?
oh boy, I sleep. No, I'm a good sleeper, which is good. I need 8 hours.
It's critical.
Yeah.
Me too.
And I go to bed early, but I mean early. Like I said, I probably asleep by 10 o'clock. But I usually go up a little earlier than that, and I'll read. I always read before I go to bed every single night because it shuts my brain off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll read. Sometimes I read serious things. Sometimes I read, total rom-com type stuff, but just, chick lit, but whatever. I always read something. And in the morning time, I'm not thinking about a Sunday, but like a work day, I'm very fortunate. I live on the water, not the ocean, but I live on the Concord Reservoir.
Oh.
And our house, I see no houses when I'm on my back deck. So I usually get a cup of coffee. If it is this time of year, I will go down and do a little weeding. And we have a pool that overlooks the lake, so I'll do a little bit of that bring my dog out. But just like you say, just sitting there having a cup of coffee for the first time. I'm an early riser too, so I'm out there at 6 o'clock. It's just beautiful. And the sun rises right now, this time of year, is just gorgeous. And I get up at 6 even on the weekends.
Yeah.
I just, so beautiful this time of year, the sun rises. I just sit there with the dog, or I'm doing a little weeding and chilling out, and then I start my day by 6:30. But it's a nice half an hour to myself.
No, that's important. That's really important. One of my things this year when I was floating and thinking, I was like, I'm gonna take even better care of myself this year, So I bought this Whoop watch, right? Because I was wondering how I was sleeping, right? So my wife, she's right. She's like, I don't like you wearing electronics all the time, So like, I had an Apple, but there's some possible evidence, like they being.
I do take mine off sometimes on the weekends. I don't sleep in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought this thing, but it's interesting. It'll give you data on how you sleep.
Is it just for sleep tracking?
It's everything.
Like your heart
Stress
and-
levels. I wear it when I work
For
out.
exercise?
Yeah, so I can see what my heart rate is, where I am. So that's one of my things I did to take. It's very interesting though, but I can tell though, like the interesting part, it'll say how when you're in deep sleep and when you're in REM sleep, REM, REM?
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whatever and then but it'll say light sleep, and then it'll say some times when I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm awake for 35 minutes every night.
Interesting.
And you don't even realize it?
No idea.
That's what's
Interesting.
fascinating about that sleep data.
I don't know.
Because you don't necessarily, it doesn't always correlate with how you felt. You slept when you wake up.
Yeah, it does have this thing where it's like, okay, you have recovered and you're on 80% recovery. So you can, when you work out, you can, get to this point of strain. It's interesting. It's interesting. Sometimes I work out with weights though, and I don't like it because it works strictly off heart rate. So like, weights will challenge you in a different way, so this reads it a little differently.
So you're not getting the cardio workout.
Yeah.
Well, this is good because this will help you work that cardio in
Definitely.
to your routine.
No, definitely. It's been a good guide. I promised myself I'd do it for a year, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Data.
I know
more
I know I sleep well because my husband does not. He says, I'm up in the middle of the night. I just want to strangle you. You're like out like a light. I just want to grow you.
My poor. I sleep well. My poor wife. Yeah. I call the night guard. I wake up and I was like, everything okay in the house? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to bed.
Even when my son was a baby, he'd be like, the baby's crying. You got to get up and go see. What? I just sleep.
What about, so you guys must be on the road, not as much as I am, but you're on the road a lot too, going to see, or is your typical week like 4 days office? I mean, you go to see projects, right?
I actually used to go to see more. The pace at which submissions come in and the rate of photography means that I am most likely reviewing projects after they've been shot. To the point where I used to say, and I still want to hear about things before they're shot. I'm happy when I am out, or if you get in touch with me and want to tell me about something that's happening, that's helpful for me to know. But it doesn't seem to work for my schedule to go and visit them anymore, which is kind of too bad. But that's just kind of the pace that we work at too.
Yeah.
So we're talking about all those events, like that. There's a lot of planning and prep that goes. If I'm ever going to be speaking, I have 2 panels tomorrow. Like there's a lot of planning that goes into that. So it just doesn't always work into my schedule. But I think we'll do things like this. We'll visit. I mean, you have a different kind of road.
Right. I mean, I'll go out and obviously see clients with the salespeople, but we have events. We also have New England Home Connecticut, so we're down there.
That's
going to events. We do. We go to the but so I'm out a lot, and I go to a lot of events in the evenings now, for not just my own events, but other people's. Right. And so I spend a lot of time in my car.
Every day's different, right?
It
feels like every day's different.
Which is good because you don't get bored.
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
We do try to physically be in the office, the entire team, on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Because
it's important to have face-to-face time.
Absolutely. You got to...
Things come up, and so that's like we all commit to. But sometimes, you have to be out. You have... Or we could be in there and we have meetings and we come back, but we're there Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Overlap, the editorial process, once I've decided what stories will be in an issue, it is a collaborative, constructing of those stories. So it's helpful for us to be in person and talking about things. I also try to be, because we cover all of New England, I try to be in those different markets, in the different states throughout the year when I can. Going to Connecticut for sure, because we have a quarterly magazine.
And you went to the Down East Antique Show in Maine.
I'll try to get to Maine.
Oh yeah,
my family's in Vermont. I get there a couple times a year. We go to Rhode
Design
Island.
Week. So there's all kinds of things. Because we're not just we're 6 states.
No,
so we're out. We're putting mileage on those cars.
We are.
Well, me too. Me too. I go through cars like crazy. Kathy, in the car, what's it like with you in the car? Is it Whitney Houston?
Oh boy, I love Yacht Rock. I'm kind of bummed that it's not on right now for the because the summer season's over. But you can still get it on your phone. But and then I listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
It all depends, when I'm up. Some days I'm doing heavy metal, 80s hair bands.
Oh,
totally rocking,
okay.
Getting my energy up when I'm going somewhere.
When it's time for a big event, when you're going to get on stage.
Psych up music, yeah.
Jenna, what about you? What's going on in the car?
So if I'm in the car, I'm usually podcasts.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But a wide range of things.
Yeah. Well, you told me about the great one with what was it called? It was.
Is it work related or not related?
Not work related.
No,
it was a great one. You told me.
Was it Amy Poehler's?
Not Amy Poehler. It was 2 comedians, 2 actors, and they have a show.
Smartless.
That's it. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
That was a good one. That was actually a show too. But no, I'll listen to books. I think I I don't know, I do a lot of thinking when I'm driving.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So sometimes music is a good way to like check out and like not, okay, can't think about that anymore, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I check in with friends too.
Yes,
Me too,
calls
man.
are, it's good
Yeah.
for calls.
I know. Having a good Bluetooth,
I'm always in traffic.
you know,
Connection, yeah.
Apple CarPlay connection is really
Apple
important.
CarPlay is my favorite thing.
It's so important. On my new car, I have a Google thing now.
Oh,
So it says so it's a Google based
for your
thing.
Android.
Well, I have an iPhone, but like it has CarPlay, but I have to connect it. But the wireless one is Google.
Oh.
So I use Google Maps, which is an adjustment for me.
Yeah.
I'm a big Waze guy.
Oh, I'm big Apple Maps.
I'm an Apple.
Oh,
I'm a
Apple Maps.
Google.
Yeah.
I'm a Google Maps.
I feel like Apple Maps is a punchline for some, but is this on a podcast going to be on Apple or anyway?
I
Sorry,
think so.
I love Apple
Sorry,
products.
Yes. Thank you both for coming on. Did we cover everything you wanted to cover? I wanted to just take it from around the world and learn about you personally as well. So thank you both for coming on. I look forward to all the fun events we have coming up and your 20th anniversary, which I know the timing of this might not be exactly right, but congratulations on that too.
you.
That's
Thank
very
you.
very impressive. Yeah. So thank you both for coming out to the workroom.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you, Manny.
Okay. All right.